Time to get tied on. In fact, we are off and running. Little Twilight Friday today at Gulfstream Park. It's good to have you with us here on GP Today. Ron Nicoletti, Jason Blewett alongside. Overcast, a little humid out here, but all is good at beautiful Gulfstream Park on this Friday, June the 2nd, although we did have quite a bit of rain.
Yeah, the turf is good, but we did have some rain here, and the main track is going to start the day as sloppy, but as usual in South Florida, the weather stays like this, we don't get any more rain, the track will be upgraded throughout the afternoon, but got to see how it plays with starting that day with that sloppy main track.
Such is life at this time of the year in Hallandale Beach, and of course keep it locked on the Gulfstream Park feed all afternoon, as we do have the 9 races. We'll obviously keep you abreast of any track condition changes, the weather as well. We'll have Acacia Courtney in the mix, of course, the voice of Gulfstream Park, track announcer Pete Aiello, joining us high upstairs at this wonderful state-of-the-art facility. Now, as far as being a state-of-the-art, don't know if we get that with the legend next to me, who's a dinosaur, but we say that with a great deal of reverence.
But you like to call me old every day. What is this with you?
You look great, though, dude.
For 100 years old.
Exactly. You look great for 85. Yeah. Now, beat the expert.
Today.
You feeling good?
Oh, I got it nailed today. You can see it. Then don't forget to play along with me. You got it until 2:15 or thereabouts to get your selections in. And you go on to our Gulfstream Park website, Facebook page, and play along. You got a chance to win one of those cool polo shirts that actually says "Beat the Expert" on the sleeve. And there should be a lot of those around because we keep getting beat every week.
Yeah, it is. You got to stop the bleeding. we are hemorrhaging Beat the Expert polos. I was trounced a couple weeks ago. Acacia last Friday. Of course, Ronnie's up today. Sign up as he appropriately put it, and I'll be on deck for next Friday. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. It is the spring and summer meet after all here at Gulfstream Park, and our opening program of the Twilight Racing. There's nothing like these Sunset Fridays on track and starting a little later than usual, in fact, about an hour.
Yeah, 2:15 p.m. We're trying something new here each and every Friday during our spring-summer campaign. And we have, you see on the board, Latin-inspired food, drinks, music. It should be a wild time here at Gulfstream Park.
All right, good times to be had by all. I'll be hanging out by the breezeway a bit later. Aptly named because you do get that beautiful South Florida breeze blowing through and your mere feet from the finish line at Gulfstream Park. So sloppy and good. Let's just give you a brief little rundown. We're all about at this time of the day. Friendly reminders on Gulfstream today. Race number 1 kicks off the Super High 5. There's no carryover, dollar rolling Super High 5. If there's 7 or more starters in a race here at Gulfstream Park, we'll also have the early pick 5 at around 2:15 when they spring the latch for Friday's opener on the turf, and that builds, of course, into race number 4, Mr. Ron, with the 20-cent Rainbow 6.
And you see it right there, $556,000 plus. So I'm looking at maybe $750 in there today, right thereabouts, and chance to get that with one 20-cent wager. And don't laugh, it's been done with a $2.40 ticket. So lots of fun. And if the people are just joining us that may not come to the racetrack, try and find out about this. We got lots of information, and you make one of these bets. You don't have to go to the bank to get involved. For $1 or $2, you can get a really nice ticket.
Yeah, you can get some coverage. You'll be having, Ronnie, a Rainbow 6 ticket a bit later in this Friday edition of GP Today, and it's been fun watching that jackpot carryover pool growing each racing day at Gulfstream. And then the late pick 5 will close things out, and it's the neat thing about these 9-race cards. And by the way, with us having that first post at around 2:15, an hour after our regular first post of 1:15. We'll wrap up the live racing action a little before 7 p.m. And the pick 5, I'll tell you, the late one that is, will kick off in a race that's leg number 2 in the Rainbow 6, and it's also the cash out and beginning of the early and late pick 5. So a lot going on in that 5th race, a very important event on today's card, as is the first. And no matter the level, I always like starting a day of racing off with the turf race. We get that today here at Gulfstream Park as a group of 5 furlong sprinters will ring in the program with a 3-and-up $20,000 claimer. It's the opening leg of the early pick 5. And how about a nice modest $9 play? We are looking, by the way, at Tyler Gaffalione off a 4-win Thursday afternoon. He's got 72 victories and counting here at Gulfstream Park. He's got calls in the first 3 races, riding 3 consecutive favorites, and I think he is very much on singles in races 2 and 3. My question to you, Ronnie, what are you doing with Tyler G in the first from the rail with Sobrino.
I'm going to put that one on top of my ticket, drop into the 20 level on the turf, cutting back to 5 furlongs, press the pace. Solid fractions last time out of 22-1 and 44-2. That's moving when you're going 6 furlongs on the dirt. Prior to finishing second, it was a 35 open claimer, going 3/4 of a mile, as I mentioned. Angel Rodriguez. I want to show a stat here before we get into showing this race real quick. This one, dirt to turf, sprints at Gulfstream. This is probably the only angle that doesn't jump off the page at them. Only 17% win with 33% of the money and a positive return of investment. It's not what the point I'm trying to make, not one of their big moves.
No, and even first-time turf, even simplifying, and that's a great nugget you sent in there with the formulator stat. But first-time turf for trainer Angel Rodriguez, he's winless with his last 15 starters over the last 5 years. So your point is definitely well taken, I should say, with this gelding by Successful Appeal, who, by the way, is coming in out of a second-place finish. Problem is, it was a race on the dirt here in late April, on April 28th, when he was beaten and basically ran 1-2 around the racetrack with the horse in blue to his inside, Legacy Azteca.
Yeah, Legacy Azteca, really nice horse there. And, you know, this horse here, as I mentioned, they went fast in that race, as I pointed out. Look, you'll see the halftime of 44.55. That is moving on 6 furlongs on the dirt here. So I thought this horse ran well, got to handle that transition to a good turf course today. And we got to remember that we're dealing with a surface with some cut in it this afternoon.
We are. Now, I think that'll play to the strengths, or at least I'm hoping to a horse that has just more seasoning and experience on the grass, and that's the 6 Graphite Strike, as he makes his first start off the claim for trainer Sandino Hernandez Jr. One of my old buddies from New York, a longtime New York trainer. It's good to see him plying his trade down here in South Florida, and I think there's plenty to like with Graphic Strike as we bring up the Blue It's Bullets for the first race. Luca Panici rides a horse that was claimed, I think, by a very sharp trainer and owning operation a few weeks ago. He's going to hope for some pace in this race with Sobrino on the rail and Zeus Odin squaring off in front of him. And I like Luca Panici as far as riding a turf closer. I think all that is going on. It's the grab bag there involved with the number 6 Graphite Strike in Friday's first at GP. Moving on to race number 2, let's head to the main track. We've got a 1 mile, 3 and up filly mare, $12,500 claimer. And my first single, I hope to get live, obviously, through race number 2. That's the name of the game, isn't it? Dressed in Heels is going to be an overwhelming favorite. And as we go back and look at her last out victory and race on March 2nd, well, she is just going to be hard to stop, and she handles a wet track. Yeah, she handles a wet track. She won on a wet track 2 starts back. She became the only 2-time winner in this field when she followed her 12-5 maiden victory with this victory you're seeing right here. And that was a 16 claimer going a mile. And as you mentioned, it was on March 2nd. So the only multiple winner in the field, lots to like, proven commodity on the wet track. She can handle a mile, too, and that is a real, I think, question mark with a number of horses in the race. 8 furlongs, however, no problem for the 4 Dressed in Heels, as you do have a field in race number 2 in which she's just got the best record. And I just think this is Midwest doing what they do. They're just getting aggressive. They're jamming her back in for 12-5. And I would have to say she's probably favored to not only win, but to get claimed out of this race. Well, let me show you a stat on the trainer of Dressed in Heels. That's Armando de la Cerda. Winner last out, all claiming levels on the dirt. He's 4 for 29, 14%, 59% in the money, only $1.44 ROI. I wouldn't put too much stock in that stat right there. Wanted to show it a little bit of a cautionary tale, but this horse jumps off the page against this level. Yeah, very short price. And in fact, we continue on in race number 3 and we get back on the turf and a run and gun type of field at 5 furlongs on the grass, short and sweet with this 3 and up filly mare maiden special weight. And you've got Tyler Gaffalione riding yet another likely odds-on chalk. My Christina's up in North Fort Lauderdale actually watching the show, but we have little Christina for Carlo Vaccarezza and Tyler Gaffalione. They do appear, even though she's burned some money and she's got a number of, I mean, you think about how tough this game is, and oftentimes, especially with turf racing, it's a game of inches between winning and losing. She's got some narrow losses, which you don't like, but again, she's just better than these. Right? She's better than these, but and at this time with little Christina, you know, Carlo Vaccarezza, all his horses seem to be getting just beat at the wire. So I would say he would be pulling his hair out, but he doesn't have any hair, so it's going to be hard for him to do that. It's a good look for him, though. Yeah, it is. And you better watch your mouth, buddy. You know, you better be careful.
He knows I'm doing it on purpose, so we'll see how it plays out. And I think you want to show that performance?
Yeah, let's show the effort on May 14th. She was cut down, by the way, little Christina, who was 9-5 that afternoon, and made the point and set the pace in that 5-furlong turf race. She was cut down late by Oroquiete, who had shown some promise last summer as a 2-year-old in Saratoga for trainer Todd Pletcher. She was coming in, the winner, by the way, out in the middle of the track in the Eclipse Thoroughbreds Silks, a black and white, was coming in off a trainer change to Jonathan Thomas, and you see little Christina is just second best. Today, she's supposed to make the point. She's supposed to never look back at a very short price. If for whatever reason, because she has never started on rain-softened turf, she doesn't handle the ground, who is the likely upsetter?
Well, I went with the 5, and I believe you did in second. She's making her first start since returning from about a 5-month layoff to make her sophomore debut, but it was a productive maiden special race in which she finished 7th, but was beaten only 3 3/4 lengths by a pair of next out winners, including the repeat winner Spelker, and that was an allowance race. That horse won up at Keeneland. So there were some nice horses in that previous race. I think that's the logical choice. Little Christina, I believe, gets the job done. And throughout the years here, so many times with 5-furlong turf races, you know, the horse you think is going to win, they just don't see that horse coming down the center of the track. A lot of people think if you got speed, you win these 5-furlong races. I think Little Christina bounces back because just better than these.
We hope that's the case. Again, if you like her today, you single her in any of the multi-race gimmicks, and you're taking what is likely a very, very short price on her in race number 3. And with the first 3 down, we'll continue on. It's all about Fridays. Twilight Friday, Rainbow 6, 550,000 plus in the kitty. This man, Ron Nicoletti, will have a ticket on the other side of this quick timeout.
Best Bet, we celebrate the champions that make horse racing great. That's why we provide more ways to bet from more places than ever. We've built an entire family of brands to give players more of the rewards they deserve, give bettors the information they need to win, and provide a community for horse bettors. Because the best way to support the champions of horse racing is to champion horse racing. Express Bet. We are racing.
Welcome back. Little Friday edition of Gulfstream Park today. Ron Nicoletti, Jason Blewett joining you right outside the Village and the walking ring, and things quiet now. They'll heat up as the day progresses, I should say. I've always liked these Twilight Sunset Fridays. Had them for quite a few years up in New York at Belmont Park. Always a younger crowd as happy hour comes around at around 5 p.m. and nice beachy Florida vibe here.
Yeah, and you said the key word there, the happy hour. So I think keywords, I should say.
Keywords, yes.
Happy hour. And so, you know, it's great. You know what I mean? We're here, and we got the Village hopping at that time of night, so I think it's going to work out well.
And we hope it works out well for your Rainbow 6, which we have a Friday ticket for you. The man that's on Beat the Expert over at our Facebook Gulfstream page, and coming in at just slightly under $60 for your Rainbow 6.
Yeah, $57.60, and wanted to go too deep in here, 3 and 6, but then when I saw the off track, I know you have to add the number 7, Lady Greatness, who may have found that spot and runs well on an off track, so I added that one. You see the rest of the progression as it goes down. $57.60. I've been knocking on the door. I am the king of 5 out of 6, which means zip.
Means zip. Means, you know what? You'll come back tomorrow and try to hit 6 of 6. No singles. I thought the second half, whereas you have Dressed in Heels on a Little Christina in races 2 and 3 and the early pick 5, might just chalk out. Did not think that was the case. Final 2/3 of this Twilight Friday program. Of course, time will tell. We'll see what happens as we go the 5.5 furlongs and leg number 1 of the Rainbow 6 with a 3 and up Filly Mare $10,000 claimer. And you touched upon the 7, Lady Greatness, who is 0 for 21. And her last race, which we will show you back just 8 days ago on May the 25th, it looks like a number of her races in which she pulled a good trip and just could not deliver that knockout punch.
Yeah, and that is the reasoning I put her in third. The only reason like I said, I added the ticket today. I wanted to cut my ticket down, but it ran okay on that off track, and that's what we've been mentioning we're dealing with today, and that was my reasoning to add it to the ticket.
I stopped the barn cold yesterday with Tom Liz. I will not do it here with the 7 Lady Greatness. Clearly, she is a major threat to take this down, and maybe finally, after 21 starts and fruitless starts as far as a maiden victory, maybe she's just found the right field. But at a short price, she's going to beat me in the W column, and I'm going to take a second-time starter in the 2, and another Do, who did not show anything, was bet off the board, debuting for $16K at Tampa Bay. And the fate of this gray filly by St. Andon was decided when they hit the starting gate door. She was off awkwardly. She had no speed at all, was outrun. I think the jock just wrapped up on her. Good second out trainer here in Kathleen O'Connell. And I, at a better price than Lady Greatness, and certainly the 9-5 she went off at first time out. I'm hoping today is the day we see for 10,000 why And Another Do was favored.
Yeah, great connections with Kathleen O'Connell. Does a great job second start, I should say. Eduardo Nunes, a regular rider for many, many years, will be in the saddle this afternoon. But I went a different way. I went with the horse you have in third, and that's Flying the Star. Turning back today to this distance of 5.5, showed some speed. Faded in a trio of main track sprints, going 3/4 of a mile. Love the work that Victor Barboza Jr. does. He had second-time blinkers, and that is the key this afternoon. I think the second blinkers to turn back to 5.5 is going to be right for this horse today. Put him on a ticket, and you had him up there too. It's not any great
the
check.
horse has speed. A high cotton filly. She does bring speed to the mix. And again, much like my pick, although with more experience and losses, you're going to get higher than the recent 5-2 and 6-5 if you do like Flying to Star in this race against Lady Greatness, who again 0 for 21. That is tough to take at a short price. Let's move on to race number 5. This was the Crossroads I was trying to talk about earlier in the show. We cash out the early 5, we start the late pick 5, and it's leg number B in the big Rainbow 6 carryover. As far as the late pick 5 is concerned, much like your play with no singles in the Rainbow 6, I reluctantly, again, I did want to keep the cost down, and we are going to single the drop-down speed off duty in race number 7. But this is a tricky, very challenging sequence that also has wet tracks involved due to the rain we had, thanks to Mother Nature, earlier today. So as far as that $18 play, I'm hoping to start it off with the 1, 4, and 7 in race number 5. And the 1 and 7, Matthews Mystery, and the 7, Shot Jack, are both coming out of the same race. Of the 2, who do you prefer?
I went with Shot Jack, who earns my top spot on the ticket after dueling for the lead, finishing third, beating 1 1/4 lengths at this level and distance.
And let's show that level and distance race.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
Sounds
do
good.
it. All right, and you can take us through, my friend, whereas Shot Jack that day, vied outside, weakened there in deep stretch, and my fault there, guys. We do have a stat, actually.
Yes,
a stat. I had
me.
watched, well, I had, forget about it.
Yeah.
I was looking at horses Saturday afternoon that are basically the same kind of condition as this, and I had pulled the race, and lo and behold, we just have a stat to get to, so that's my fault there, but you like Shot Jack.
Yeah, Shot Jack, and, you know, trained by Benny Cadilla. This one has an apprentice, Manny Jimenez, in the saddle. You're right, but Matthews Mystery leaves little mystery as to what his running tax is going to be. Breaks from Raleigh, Raleigh got beat in neck. At this level of distance, he was 18-1 last time, and I think they are the logical 2 horses in there.
I do as well, and just off the fact he was such a big price last time in Matthews Mystery, I want to see it one more time.
Right.
And I do think that outside post today for the 7, Shot Jack, affords his rider a chance to really see. Now, he's not a slow horse. He's going to be on the engine no matter what, but I do like that spot out there much better than Matthews Mystery, who's clearly a dead send from down inside. And the post with the 7, Shot Jack, won me over as well.
Yeah, that was my reasoning too. And the stat we're going to talk about comes under 3, Starship Medicine. I think this one might be the sneaky in here. He's going to try these 6,252 lifetime foes in the dirt. Raced wide, failed to mount the rally, facing better on the grass. Want to show you a stat on Daniel Gazin. I found this interesting. Turf to dirt, all claiming levels.
Wow.
4 for 8 limited, 50%,
Wow.
75% in the money, and a $5.75 ROI. Something that you don't expect expect to see when you deal up these stats. So I thought that was one of the horses that, I wanted to mention in the race just for that stat.
And this is not a barn that is going to give you, 900 starters a year. That is very telling there. And I think if you're playing any sort of multi-race wager, you may want to take a long look and include the 3 Starship Menace. If for no other reason, just off that stat, very nice find by you, Ronnie. Now we can move on to race number 6, my friend. It is 5 down, 4 to go on this Sunset Twilight Friday at Gulfstream Park. 3 and up, $50,000 to $40,000 maiden claimers. They will go a 2-turn mile, and a number of rematches forthcoming on the program today, including Diamond Square, who has met the 7 Omen By before. Who do you like in here? In fact, I'm looking at your picks. You like the 6 Distorted Union.
Yeah, this one is well meant second at this level and distance. 2 starts back. Drops, finished 7th against maiden special weight competition last time out. Lily Curtinez, Gilbert Tremafi named to ride. I just thought on this drop here, looks like the one to beat in there. I like all the information about the number 7 Omen By and Diamond Square way out of my ticket. Coming back in 6 days, and you have that one on your ticket.
Yeah, I'm hoping maybe trainer Patrick Biancone can get on a little run here. Was very impressed watching the race, and in hindsight with Diamond Oops. Got a 73 buyer yesterday. Good-looking 2-year-old debut winner here at Gulfstream Park for trainer Patrick Biancone. And he's got a horse who just figures, brings speed to the race, has been getting close to breaking his maiden against richer, tougher fields. And I like the 2 drop downs, as do you. You respect them, but you tried to split them with the 7 Omen By. As we saw, Jaime Mejia doesn't really reach out to Tyler Gaffleone all that often, but they connected in yesterday's second.
And then that's the key of putting to show the definite fondness for this level and distance on the turf. When he rallied at the finish third, he was 60-1 last time out. You mentioned the connections, leading jock Tyler Gaffleone, son of Curlin. No way is this horse going to be 64-1.
No shot. Major upgrade, with all due respect and peace and love in the jockey department, and that will not be lost on anyone looking at race number 6 on paper. And with the 6 down, we can move on to race number 7. We're on the main track again, going 6.5 furlongs with this 3 and up, 12-5 claiming race. And for me, and clearly you, it's a case, and I'm hoping it's really as cut and dried as Off Duty's dropping down and brings that big early speed dropping down. Come and get him, and I don't think anybody in here will be up to the task.
Well, I give a best bet and a long shot every day. This was my best bet of the afternoon, and I know you singled it, but I did not have the nerve to single. I used 2 horses in this race, but I am in total agreement with Off Duty. He's going to face these 12-5 condition claimers in the first start since that really successful 2016 campaign against Tuffer. Then he'll face today. He had 18 races, 3 wins, 2 seconds and third. Howard Mills readying him for this with that bullet half-mile drill in 46-3. Best time, 68 horses at the distance. I think he's the one to go, and I made him my best bet, especially against this level of competition. I thought he had that tactical advantage.
Yeah, he does have that advantage, and again, you combine that with the drop, and hopefully they open the bell. He's a fairly alert breaker, and hopefully he's a couple in front from the get-go, and at a short price just wires them, as we have the one more applause in second, who just seems, even at face value off his last couple races, he might just be the main danger, and he's certainly logical.
Yeah, I mean, he was beating the neck at this level and distance. Luis Luna is the trainer. He's got Jose Batista. I think this is the logical choice in there. We're guessing a little bit with the 2 on the speed play coming off the layoff, but I think if all things being equal, and they certainly are against this level of competition, more applause is a major player in there, and thus I added him to my ticket. That was my problem with singling the 2 in there. I wussed out.
You wussed out. The BB, though. Off Duty did get the bold font there on Ron Nicoletti's analysis. Waiting for you, free of charge, of course, over at GulfstreamPark.com. Definitely check out the website, new and improved, and it's all things Gulfstream Park and beyond. Your one-stop shopping for Grade 1 racing here in South Florida. Let's move on to our featured 8th race, shall we? We'll wrap up the action on the main track. Our last dirt race is the $50,000 Anna T handicap. These are 3 and up fillies and mares. They'll meet at 7 furlongs, and you've been, again, I respect my elders. You've been in Florida and the head honcho down here a very, very long time. We had a good time because I'm not familiar with Anna T. Kind of took you down memory lane looking at her lifetime PPs, ran around these parts in the late 80s.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen races at Hialeah, seeing races against Judy's Red Shoes, who we have a race named after. You know, just it was great to see it. 53 career starts, and you know, when we started off, you said, "You remember Anna T?" I said, "Of course I do," but I didn't really till I looked at all those.
Right, you had the wrong horse. You're like, "Oh yeah, she ran a couple of weeks ago, right, with Gaffleone?"
Yeah, wasn't it Wednesday?
Yeah, for Calabrese, I said, not quite. Maybe a couple of decades ago. But anyway, mare by Fire Dancer, who has her namesake today. And Robert Gaffleone, by the way, one of the jockeys who rode Anna T.
Yeah, and Tyler's dad.
Yeah, which is pretty cool there. Now, anyway, let's talk about the field. And it's a quality and classy field here for the 50 Gs. And a number of these horses are coming out of a race here just under a month ago on May the 11th. And it's a race we'll look at. Do have a replay now. I jumped the gun a couple races back, but let's look at More Than a Party and the outside runner Concealed with the Kiss, who kind of flip-flop spots in the starting gate today. You had the gray Concealed with the Kiss, who was down inside and really hung in there gamely. And of course, More Than a Party hounded her from basically the 2 or 3 path and was very determined down to the wire.
Yeah, and it's the old horse for course play. More Than a Party added credence to that theory when she edged away to defeat, as you saw there, those 62,500 optional claimers. Posted a 5th victory from 8 races here at Gulfstream Park. So 8, 5, 1, and 1. Loves this place.
Now, More Than a Party doing some good of late for trainer Eddie Broom. You've got her on top. I picked her second. I do like to switch in posts, even though both horses are likely to hook up at some point around the far turn. And I'm hoping today is the day that Concealed with the Kiss can turn the tables. Give me a little pop on the 5, Miss Away, who had earned some frequent flyer miles heading up north. In fact, ran at the Big A on January 22nd in the Interborough. She is back down home here at Gulfstream Park, and you think she's going to run big.
Yeah, this is one of the horses that you just thought when you watched her career as she went along she was going to explode and become a graded stakes performer, something like that.
Really?
She always ran well, and she's stretching out to 7 furlongs. She's won at the distance. 4th place finish, as you mentioned, up at the Interborough at Aqueduct in January. 2nd place finish here, 62 optional claimers, going 3/4 a mile. She's one of those horses that's just always there and a hard-knocking campaigner. I have a lot of respect for her, and I just thought she never took that next jump that I thought she would take.
All right, fair enough. We'll see if she can take it today. Not an easy field. She's likely to get an honest pace to close into, though. You get the feeling this is just a feature today at Gulfstream Park where there's very little as far as the ability column separating a handful of these horses, if not more.
Yeah, it was very hard to handicap. And the horse that you have on top, Concealed with a Kiss, that you put on top, this one likes an off track, and that's got to be, added into the equation.
Yeah, she gets a check mark. A good call there by you from the outside. As we, of course, finish up the program here. Race number 9, a scheduled post time in the program today, a GP of about 6:38. We'll get you out of here as far as the live racing action is concerned before 7 p.m. And, of course, stick around. We've got those great drink specials. A lot going on this Twilight Friday at Gulfstream Park. Summer has arrived in Hallandale Beach. In the nightcap, do you like Lady Devil? Are you a fan of this horse?
I have her on top, but, I would not single her anywhere on it. And this one is hoping to save more for the stretch strike, surrendering a late lead when second at this level and distance. Trainer is Chad Summers. You got Tyler Gaffleone now today rationing her speed. You've been watching. We don't have to tell you what Tyler Gaffleone has been doing there, and I think that if anybody's going to ration her speed correctly, it is going to be Lady Devil. Not that anybody else can't ride this horse and win in this race. He's just been in that zone.
He's just been white hot. The confidence and preparation with Tyler has impressed me the most, and we don't have him here tomorrow afternoon at Gulfstream Park. He's got a call with Todd Pletcher riding Bronson in the Penn Mile. Now let's give a little pop here to my top selection. Blinkers on today, Majestic Mayara, who I thought ran really well and lost a tough one here in a blanket photo finish back on May the 12th. The boys upstairs in the control room have highlighted her. She's in the red circle, landed in a pretty good trip and got a very good ride that day from jockey Miguel Vasquez. I like her. off her last 2 turf races. There's nothing creative there. What you see is what you get, but she's in good form, and I think she's just going to pull a great trip from post number 2 with the blinkers on off a real tough loss last time out.
Yeah, a little tough loss. She drifted a little bit in the lane, but I got her on the ticket for all the reasons that you mentioned. And, you know, I split him with the number 6 horse in here, Dixieland Dudes, daughter first dude, now in the Terry Pompey barn. I want to quickly show you a stat on Dixieland Blues, on Terry Pompey, actually. Over the last 5 years, first after a trainer switch, 180 days plus. I just wanted to, this horse is coming back after a long layoff. 3 for 15, 20%, 33% in the money, but a positive return of investment. A lot of times you go, how could you bring a horse back from such a long layoff? Thought maybe this stat would help you decide.
There's clearly intention there with that stat, and I think that also, maybe most importantly, shows that Terry Pompey can get a horse fit and ready to fire big off a layoff greater than 6 months. No layoff for us. In fact, you'll be heading up to Ocala, my friend, little road trip.
Yeah, a little road trip. I'll be at the OBS Sales Pavilion tomorrow for simulcasting. If you're listening to us up in OBS, come out and visit me, do a little bit of seminar, and have a lot of fun up there, and be up there. I guess starting about 12 noon tomorrow.
All right, sounds great. A safe drive for you. Have fun up at Ocala. Of course, Acacia Courtney and myself holding down the fort in addition to the voice of GP. He's the best, isn't he? Track announcer Pete Aiello, a legend here in Hallandale Beach. Let's bring him on. He's coming up next with that opening set of Twilight Fridays Scratches and Changes.